Hey, this is Deepak here, and in this video, I want to talk about dropping your personality. And when I talk about dropping your personality, what does it even mean? And I am one of the guys who advocates building a personal brand and having a certain level of authority in the market so that people can get attracted to you, want to work with you, and you could be in a position where people need you more than you need them. But in that context, what does it mean by dropping your personality? So, personality is basically something that people give you, and you don't have a direct control over it. Most of the people have a self image, and that self image is a perception of what other people think of them. It's not even what other people think of them, it's a perception of what other people think of them, and that becomes their self image. And when you create your own self image in a way that other people look at you, then it's actually kind of takes away your freedom to act and talk, what you want to do, what you want to talk, what you want to act. It takes away that freedom because it has to be kind of correct and in alignment with the self image that you have developed, and that self image is an image that other people kind of have in their mind. So people get very, very worked up on saying something, talking something, because each and everything that they say and whatever they talk modifies and affects that self image. And why do people get hurt when somebody insults them? Why is it hurtful? If somebody comes and kind of punches you in the face, then that would be hurtful, that would be physically hurtful. But people are equally hurt when somebody insults them. But there is no physical harm that has been transferred to this person. What actually hurts is that the person has an image in the mind which the person thinks that, hey, this is me. And if somebody insults them, that image gets damaged. And because the person thinks that he is that image, it is as hurtful as somebody physically coming and hurting you. So sometimes the easier way to live and the freer way to live, and what true freedom means for me, is that not to worry too much about what people are thinking of me. And when you don't worry too much about that, you are basically dropping your personality, dropping your ego, dropping that self image, trying to constantly make that self image in a way that you want it to be so that people can see you in a certain way is extremely stressful, and it is a full-time job in itself. And if you are chasing that, you are basically chasing a fiction, and fiction by its own nature will kind of evaporate at some point. Like for example, if you become 80, 90 years old and then maybe by 100 you eventually die, then all that self image is going to go into thin air anyway. So what are you even trying to build, what are you even trying to control? So in the past 3 to 5 years, I have just been developing my own set of beliefs, set of thoughts by reading a lot of books, and probably just focusing on the things that I really like to work on. And I have not worried too much about the image that I post out there, so that the society and the world can see me in a certain way. And surprisingly, when I have started doing that, it has actually given a very positive self image for me, because by dropping that personality, I am letting my individuality shine through. So, if you want to be truly free, and what freedom means for me is that you don't worry too much about what the world thinks of you, because that is not something you can control anyway, right? Your mother might think certain things of you, your friends might think certain things about you, your girlfriend or boyfriend might think certain things about you, and there is no way to directly control that. And each and every person becomes like a mirror, and you are basically looking yourself in the mirror to find out who you are. The problem is that each and every person is a different mirror, and each and every person will give a different reflection of who you are. And if that is the way that you want to see yourself, you are going to be in for a lot of pain and suffering, because you will be constantly having this question, who am I? This person looks at me differently, this person looks at me differently, and all those different images will become so confusing, so stressful, that you are kind of questioning who you are. And if somebody tells you something negative about you, somebody insults you, then suddenly you lose your self confidence because you are so dependent on that personality. But if you kind of don't care about that, and if you focus on what you really want, it's not necessarily being selfish. I would say it's more of being like, let's say we can call it individuality, and more of enlightened self-interest rather than selfishness, because in your world you are the only thing that is real, and within your world you are your perceptions and your perception of the world, what you want to do, your time, your feelings, all that is the only thing that is real. So if you start focusing on that, and suddenly you will start feeling like a sense of freedom and a sense of relief, because you are no longer worrying about what other people think of you. And suddenly that is the moment when people will start getting attracted to you, because people are kind of tired of interacting with people who have two faces. So everybody has one face which is their social face, and then they have one face which is who they really are within four walls of a room. And people want to connect with people who are genuine. People don't want to connect with people who have a social face, because that social face is fake. That ego, that image that they try to maintain is fake. And that is why you see people going to great lengths to pose an image of themselves, which they are not, truly, they are not truly them, right? And that's why, when you look at most politicians, not all politicians but most politicians, they have to carry an image around, and they have to maintain a particular level of perception. And a lot of people kind of cringe, and a lot of people don't like such kind of leaders who have a social image, because no matter how much you try, you cannot make that social image genuine, because there will be a certain level of inconsistency in what you do and how you show yourself out into the world, and people are tired of that. So people only truly get genuinely attracted to a person who does not have that double face, and people who are individuals rather than trying to hold up a personality, people who are just individual, people who are just spontaneous, people who just say what they believe they say, and not worry too much about how what they say is being perceived out there, and how it will reflect their self image. People who don't worry about that actually end up building a stronger personal brand and a stronger personality, because they are not proactively building their personality. They are just being individuals, true to what they believe, and true to their own actions, true to their own self interests. And that's just attractive to people. And people just can feel an aura around you, they feel good around you, because you are not trying to put up a personality and trying to maintain that image all the time, and it's tiring. And you cannot do productive work and life changing work if you are always focused on trying to maintain that perception for the outside world. And if you are just being an individual, and if you just drop that heaviness of wanting to maintain a personality, then that is where you will start becoming happy. And once you start becoming happy, you will also become successful, because you are focused on work and not focused on trying to maintain an image in the world. So for me, that is freedom, and that is true freedom. And just because I'm talking about it doesn't mean that I have completely learned to get there where I completely have dropped my personality and just let my individuality shine through. I'm still in the process of working towards it, but having focused on this for the past few years has tremendously improved the quality of my life. Just not giving a dash about what people think of me, and it has actually improved my personal brand. So I hope you liked this video, and I wanted to talk about this because I recently met so many people who were a little bit miserable with the current situation in their life. And when I dug deeper, I found out that most of their misery comes from other people's perception of them, and how them wanting to control that perception kind of went for a toss. And because it went for a toss, and other people are expecting different things out of them, they are kind of struggling with it. This is with close relationships, and your image in the society and all those things. And I felt this is something that I have to address. And I've been constantly reading and listening to Osho's thoughts, and he also kind of says the same thing. So all this is attributed to Osho. And if you have the time and if you have the patience, And if you have that inclination, then I would definitely recommend reading Osho. And I have a book right here from Osho, and this is called Awareness, and this is by Osho. And this book also says the same thing, and a lot of books that he has written kind of says the same thing. So this leads to true freedom and a lot of happiness and a lot of success. So try that, think about it, and let me know in the comments below what you have in mind. Bye bye.